Hey guys, welcome back to another modeling video on MH Tutorials. Well guys, today we're going to be modeling this guy, the K-Bar combat knife. Okay, let's go. Alright guys, well in front of us is a reference image for our K-Bar combat knife, in this case a US Marine Corps version, and that's what we're going to do. Now keep in mind that in this video we're going to do the full prop of the knife in the sheath. Okay, so we're not going to do the blade of the knife. The top image here, that's basically what we're going to do because it's going to be a prop on the belt of a character. All right. Okay, so that said, let's get started. Now I have the actual knife in front of me as well, just in case I don't get all the details from this image, so I'll just follow along. All right. Okay, so let's start with a polygon cylinder, and I'm going to either rotate, hold down J, and snap that like so. And initially I'm going to work with the bottom image because I got a better view of the knife. F to zoom to frame in, and then click on X-ray. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold down X, we're going to snap this to the center of our grid, and then we're going to take our image and move that up until that is basically in line as well. And that's pretty good. And then we're going to take this guy, we're going to scale that down to, I would say, about here. We're going to right click, go to vertex, drag select, W, move that out to about here, hit W again and move that out to about there. Okay, now we're going to go into insert Edgeloop. Where do you go? Right here, option box, single setting, which is fine. And we're going to put one in here, here, and keep in mind that because this handle is distorted or shaped, if you will, you're not getting a perfect straight view here. So you kind of need to estimate, you know, where the edges should be. This should be about right. And then what we'll do is we'll go in here and we'll put in 1, 2, and 3, like so. Okay. Q on the keyboard, we're going to right click on the edge, we're going to select these edges, hold down shift. Okay, and we're going to go to edit mesh and bevel, and then we're going to increase that fraction. I thought I had all of them. Let me just try that again. Sorry about that. Edit mesh and bevel, that's better. And you can see that the size is pretty good, so that's nice. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to right click on a vertex, and I'm going to drag select these, and I'm going to hit R, and I'm going to start to bring them in. Okay, so we'll take these, and actually we'll do them one by one because we don't want them to be distorted. Okay, so let's keep that clean. It's a little bit more work, but you'll benefit from it. These are pretty close. I'm just focusing on the top here because our photo is not perfectly aligned. If you just follow on one of the two, you should be fine. All right, and then we want that handle to be rounded, of course. So we're going to bring that one in a little bit, and we'll bring the back one in a little bit, and there you go. And then let's have a look and see what we got so far. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to right click, go to face, and we're going to shift and double click. And I'm going to take these guys, and we're going to hit Control E to extrude, and let's try minus 0.01 on the thickness. Probably need a little bit more than that. So let's try minus 0.02, which is a bit better. Okay. Little tweaking needs to be done here. We're going to right click on the vertex again. These look okay. This one right here needs to be adjusted just a little, and then this one here, just try to maintain that flow. Okay, all right, and then maybe we'll bring this one in a bit. Okay. Alrighty, so we got that. Then what we're going to do next is we're going to take our image here, and we're going to W. We're going to move that back a little. Come on. Object mode, yeah. Move that back. And the thing here is this handle isn't round, it's more flat-like, okay? So what we need to do here is flatten that out a little bit. Now, obviously we need to do that in the right direction, and we need to make sure that we have everything selected that needs to be done, all right? So we're going to right-click the face, I'm going to drag select everything with the exception of the pommel at the end, all right? So we got that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to hit R, and we're going to start to push that in to flatten that a little bit to, I would say, something like this. And that's pretty good. Maybe slightly less, but you get the idea, right? And then, excuse me, on the front there, there's a little section that's slightly different as well. And for that, let's see, what we're going to do here is we're going to right click and go into vertex. And I'm going to select 1, 2, 3. And we'll do 1, 2, 3. And we're going to push those in to flatten that out a little bit like this. And then we'll just take the middle ones to align them. And let's see if we can get a clean shot from here. Probably not. That's the pommel end. Looks like we're going to have to. We're going to hit 4 so we can see it better. So these are pretty close. Just going to move that out. Yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. All right. So that's that. And then we got that little section here at the end, a little metal section there. And so far, it doesn't seem that we have any end gons, which is good. So we're going to right click and go in, and we're going to select these faces right here. So I'm going to drag select and then shift drag select to deselect those. Hit Control E to extrude, hit the W to pull out, which will give us that section right there. And that looks fine. And then we're going to do something at the end here, and that's something you cannot see in the model, but it's pretty important. The blade goes through the handle, and the tang of the blade, so basically the metal section that's holding onto the blade, goes all the way through the handle and is visible at the end right there. Okay, so that's what we're going to need to create in our model, and it's facing in this direction, so vertically. So what we need to do here is we need to make that possible. All right, so I'm going to drag select, and then I'm going to shift drag select. So I only have these faces here. Hit 4 to make sure I got nothing else, and that seems to be the case. Hit 5 to go back. We're going to hit delete. Then we're going to go in and double click on that entire edge and go to edit mesh and fill hole. Mesh and fill hole, sorry. And then we're going to go in and open up our modeling toolkit, go to our multi-cut tool, and we're going to start to go from here to here. Hit enter to connect, from there to there, connect. And just work your way down. All right, and then we're going to go in this direction here. First of all, we're avoiding end gons by doing this. But also we're creating the shape that we need to make that end piece. All right, so we got that in there. Now I wanted this to be vertical. Let me do a final check here. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to go in and select this, and this face right here. Control E to extrude. Let's tweak that offset a little bit into the right direction. Let's do 0.02, which is about right. Yep. And then we're going to go in and take this right here. Control E to extrude, W to push in, G to repeat, R to scale, and then scale a little bit in this direction, like so. And then G to repeat and W to pull out. And you don't want that sticking out of the the pommel there. So make sure that you do not do that, and I'll show you what I mean. Don't do this. Keep it flush, or even slightly less would be okay. And we're going to leave it at that. All right. Now we got that. Let's see. Now let's concentrate on this guy right here. For that, we're going to take a simple polygon cube. Let's move that out. Hit R to scale that in. Make it nice and flat. Create the right thickness here. F to frame, R to scale in. That would be about right. Excuse me. Yep. Now, from the top down is straight for the most part. Let's just move this in here. Let's do, just checking on the original here to see how thick that really is. It should be less than this, meaning that we need to adjust the rest accordingly. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go in and let's go in here. And let's see how this works. Yeah, it's much better. Okay. All right, so we got that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and let's have a look. We're going to right click, go to vertex, drag select these two, hit W to move them up to about here. And then down here, same deal. And then we're going to go in. And insert Edgeloop should still be set to single, which is good. We're going to go in, we're going to have one right there, and let's have one right there. Q on our keyboard, we're going to right click, go to vertex, drag select these two, hit W and kind of bend that in the direction. And we'll do the same here. All right, so what do we got? Excuse me. So now that we have that so far, what we're going to do next is we're going to go in, right click edge, take those edges, and go to edit mesh and bevel. And then we're going to increase that fraction a little bit and increase the segments. Not a lot, but still. Now this will create some n-gons. I'm going to keep this fairly low poly, so yeah, I'm going to need to fix that manually, all right? So what I'll do here, I'll give it a try with the clean function. Let's see if that will work. So we're going to go to mesh and clean up, and I want to address faces with more than 4 sides. Let's see what else. Let's leave this all what it is. It's probably going to triangulate and give us some triangles there, which is normally not a problem as long as it's not n-gons. Okay, so let's give it a try. And there you have it. It created some n-gons, but it's good. Okay, let's move this up a little bit. We're going to W, we're going to move that in just to make sure that there's contact. And from this point on, we're going to worry about the sheath. All right. So what I'm going to do now is select these here and go to mesh and combine, and then I'm going to move this up. That's pretty close. As you can see, it's at an angle in our original here, but that's okay, right? And then what we're going to do from here is we're going to take a polygon cube, we're going to move that up, we're going to move that in. We're going to start somewhere around here, and you know, you can see that the sheath is not perfectly horizontal, so we're just going to use this as a reference, okay? So I'm going to select these vertices, so I got my top point there. We're going to take these, let's bring it out to, I would say, about there, okay? And then what I'm going to do is, let me think, I'm going to go in here, hit R to scale this in. And this should have some thickness to it, of course, because it's holding the entire blade, so but don't go crazy on it. And what we're going to do next is we're going to make sure that we're okay in this curve here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go in and let's see, let's go to Edgeloop, option box, open that up, let's set that to 8. We're going to go in, we're going to add them right there, hit Q on our keyboard, we're going to right click, go to vertex, drag select, hit W to move that way down. Take the next one, bring that down, take that one, bring that down. These are all going to be level. Like I said, it's kind of an estimate because our reference image isn't flush and straight. That seems to be alright. Thickness maybe a bit less. Let's just bring that in a little bit. Yeah. And now for the tricky part. Now the thing is, there's a flap behind here, and it's going all the way around and up the handle, and you got this thing in the front there. That is not going to be straight because your blade is straight. So it's one or the other, and that means that that has to move back, right? So that means we need to add a little bit of thickness here, and then hit W and move it in this direction, like so, which will give us an opportunity, and I'll just get this guy out of the way, to go in here, select this guy, and go into Edgeloop again, option box, and set that to single setting, and set that right there, hit W to move it a little bit. And hit Q on our keyboard, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this face right here, we're gonna Control E to extrude it, let's hit W, and we're gonna start to move that out. Now for that we need to have this U, of course. Okay, so I'm gonna move this, I would say, up here, hit G to repeat, W to pull out, and we're actually even going to go up a little bit like this, right? G to repeat, W to pull out. And anything you don't like, you can correct later. But for now, we're just going to block out the shape, roughly, okay? And I'm just hitting G to repeat last command, and W to pull out. And at this point, you're going to go up because you're going to come back in a bit. Now we're going to start to rotate, so we're going to hit E a little bit. And rotate some more. Hit E, rotate some more. And just keep on going. At this point we need to get close in. Excuse me. Excuse me. So I'm going to bring that into about here, and I'm going to bring this guy into about here, and then we want to connect those two up. All right. So I'm going to after frame that in. And this is going to be a bit tricky. I'm going to right click, go to face, and we're going to select that face and delete that. Flip that around. Select that face and delete that. And then we're going to right click and go to vertex and 1 and come on. Let's start here, 1 and 2. I'm going to go to edit mesh and merge. Hit enter, that's fine. G to repeat last command. G to repeat last command and G to repeat last command. Okay. Now, excuse me. So we're almost there. So now that we have that, you can see that the main sheath here is way too straight. If you look at the original, you'll see that there's a certain flow to it. It's going to be a bit bulgy on the top there. So let's kind of address that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in, and I actually want to increase the size of this guy while I'm looking at it. So we're going to go in, we're going to take this guy, we're going to go to mesh and separate, and I want this to be a bit higher. Should stick out just a little, not too much, just a little. Yeah, that's better. Okay, right. So we're going to go in here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to insert Edgeloop again, and set that to manual. Yep. Because I want to smooth this guy out. So let's put in one here. We'll put one in here. Let's put one in here. And then we're going to go in here. We'll put one in here. And let's see what we got. Okay, so I'm going to go in. I'm going to go to object mode. Hit 3 to preview smooth, which is a good starting point. Okay, now we're not quite there yet. We're going to hit 1 to go back, and there's a little pointy area here that I want to address. Let's smooth this guy out and see if that helps. Mesh and smooth. Yeah, it does. Okay. So we got this strap section here with that button on it. We need to address that. So for that, what we'll do is we'll take a polygon pipe, hit E to rotate, hold on J, W to move that up. Let's go into the attribute editor here, and let's go in, set thickness to 0.02, or maybe 0.03, a bit thicker. Okay, now we're going to start by simply turning that into something that's closer to the size we need. Let's just hit W, bring it in, have a look at where it should be positioned. We're going to hit R, we're going to scale that in a little bit. Let's scale it down a bit, and let's see where we're at. All right. Okay, so we're going to hit W, we're going to move this up. That's basically where we need to be. We're going to scale this down quite a bit. And then we're going to bring it back a little. And we're going to focus on the right end here, because that needs to be a good fit initially. Then we're going to right click and go to vertex. We're going to drag click all of these, flare that out like this. That is close, but not good enough. We're going to right click our vertex. We're going to drag select these guys. Let's hit W and kind of bring that in here, and then hit R and scale it in. Okay. So the other one needs to come in as well, looks like. All right, so that's that. Then what we're going to do next is we're going to go in. Let's look at where that clip is. Should be in the middle there, of course. Yeah, so let's say that will be this face or this face, or maybe even covering both. We'll see. So we're going to go in here and we're going to delete that face. Let's delete that face, delete that one, and delete that one. And then we're going to go in here, we're going to double click on this edge, we're going to hit W to pull that out and down. We'll double click on this guy, kind of pull that out a little, double click on this one, that one's going to go up and in. So that one's in there. So then I'm going to go into mesh and fill hole to close that up. And then I'm going to take this one. Take this one. So that's not too bad. Okay. Excuse me. So now that we have that, we're going to go to mesh and fill hole again, and then we're going to go in, right click, go to edge, select these edges right there, and go to edit mesh and bevel. Maybe add some segments to it. We'll go in here, we'll do the same. Add some segments to it. Okay, so I got some n-gons going on here in this space, and I'm going to correct those. I'm not quite sure how yet. Maybe I will create a high poly and retopologize or not, but just so that you're aware that I'm not, you know, oblivious to the fact that there are n-gons here. Okay, so at some point I will correct them if I decide to move forward with the model. So let's see, we need that button on top, so we're going to create a sphere. Let's hit E to rotate that and hold down J and flip that over. Flip it over straight like this. We're gonna cut that guy in half basically. So we're gonna right click at the face. We're gonna drag select, maybe more than half even. Let's go all the way here. Delete that. We're gonna go to object mode. We're gonna hit R and we're gonna squish it. And then we're gonna go in here. Hit W to move that up, and hit R to scale that down, W to move that over. Let's see where we're at. I'm going to turn off my X-ray here. So let's bring that way in. That's where it should be, about. We're going to go in, we're going to go to edge, double click, hit Control E to extrude, W to pull out. And we're going to take this guy, W to move in. Let's stretch this guy out a bit more. So let's move that in here. And then we're just going to rotate it a bit so it looks more even. I think that's fine. And then just to add a little detail on this guy right here, we're going to borrow this guy. Control E to, oops, not Control E, sorry. Control D to duplicate. W to move over. Let's move that up. And what we're going to do is we're going to jump in here, For wireframe mode, we're going to hit R to scale it way down, W to move in. That would be about right. Control D to duplicate. Move that down, select them both. Control D again, move them over, and I'll adjust the placement in a second. Control D again, move them over, and then we're going to have just this one. Control D and move that over. Let's look at our model here. So I'm going to select all of these, deselect this guy and this guy, and move that in like so. And then we just need to make sure that these guys are in contact here. Okay, so the way to do that is to jump in from this view, and we're going to right click on a vertex. I'm going to drag select all of these, hit B on my keyboard for soft select, hold on B and click and drag to decrease that impacted area, and we're just going to bring it in like so, right? So that is it, guys. Like I said, it's it's an approximate. If you want to take this to the next level, you would retopologize this guy, maybe remesh it in ZBrush. You would UV it, color ID it, create a high poly mesh, and so forth. If you guys comment that you want me to do that in following videos, please let me know, and if there are enough people that want me to, I will. Okay, so that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye. Well, thanks for watching, and before you go, please hit that MH button to subscribe, okay? See you guys next time. Bye.